So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I make some oxtails. This wasn't a planned video, but I thought, you know what, why not? So let's get into the recipe, guys. So I'm going to start with a little bit of black pepper, onion powder. Now, I'll be honest, guys, I never like measuring food. So I've got about a tablespoon of onion powder there. Then I'm going to add a little bit of all-purpose, not too much because it is quite salty. So that might be about a half a tablespoon, if that. I'm gonna add some oxtail seasoning. My oxtail seasoning, I'm going to use a full spoon. And you don't have to use oxtail seasoning, I'm just using it because I like the taste. It's up to you. Some garlic powder, and as I said, by eye. So I'm only using that much because I'm going to put some garlic paste on it, and I will add fresh garlic. Then I'm going to put in some ginger powder, and I love ginger in my food. And with the ginger powder, I'm just going to put a little bit. You can use some fresh ginger as well. I'm just using a little bit of ginger powder. Some paprika. Oh, struggling to get out of the packet. Some paprika. You don't have to use this again. Maybe I'll use a little bit more of that paprika, just a little bit. Paprika. Some salt. I'm not going to go crazy on the salt because the oxtail seasoning has salt in it. So that could be about a half a tablespoon. Again, I'm measuring by eye, which doesn't sound ideal, but this is just how I've always done it. Okay. And I'm going to add some thyme. Just a little bit. Maybe about a half a teaspoon for now. So I'm going to mix that together. I'm just going to make sure that I mix all my seasonings together. Usually I do this by hand. Okay, so now that I've mixed that just a little bit, I'm going to add some browning. And browning is just for the colour. You don't want to overdo it with browning because it will make your food way too dark and it can give it a bit of taste. So far I've just put about that much on the spoon. I can't tell you exactly how much that is, but that's how much I'm using, and if I need a little bit more then I'll add some more. Okay. So now I've mixed in all the seasonings with the browning. I'm going to add a little bit of ketchup. Not too much. That might be about a tablespoon, we'll see. And mix it again. I love oxtails. And I do not know how much oxtail I have here in weight, but I've got about 30 pieces of oxtail. Then to my oxtail I'm going to add some pimento seeds. So depending on the size, I usually use maybe about 5. So this is the pimento seeds, but I'm going to use about 5 of them. Okay, 6. I'm going to mix that again. And I do not like to put onions in my oxtail marinade. It's just a personal choice. Call it authentic, call it inauthentic. This is just how I do it. Then I'm going to add some bruised and, well, some peeled scallion onions like that. And this is it. This is all I do for now. Sorry guys, I forgot to say that I added some garlic paste, and then I will cover that and let that marinade for a couple of hours. So my oxtail was in the fridge for about 6 or 7 hours and it smells amazing. It's nicely marinated and I'm about to start frying it. So I put some oil in the pan with about a tablespoon of sugar and I'm letting that melt and slowly start to get caramelized, and then I will add the oxtails to that and brown them. Okay, so the second batch of my oxtail is brown and I'm going to add back the first batch that I cooked. I'm going to give this a quick stir, cover it and then let it spring its own natural juices. Okay, so I've had my oxtail covered for about 15 minutes and if you can see, it started producing its own liquid at the bottom of the pot and the oxtails look lovely and brown. They're getting nice and brown, guys. Another 10 minutes has passed and my oxtail still has a nice amount of liquid in there. So now I'm going to add my fresh seasoning. I'm going to add some onions. Got some onions, so I'm going to add that. And I've got some garlic, so I'm going to add that. And I'm going to let that cook for about 5 minutes again, just to soften up the onions a little bit. Then I'm gonna add some tomato puree. I'm going to add some of my tomato puree, not too much, maybe about a teaspoon. And then I like to let that tomato puree cook out with the oxtail for a few minutes. So I'll cover all the oxtails with the tomato puree and let it cook like that. Then I'll leave that for about 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm adding a little bit more oxtail seasoning. And I have run out of Scotch bonnet, so I'm going to use some chili powder instead. Not too much. I'm not a fan of spice. Okay, so I'm gonna add my blended seasoning that I had in the freezer. This was just some bell pepper, some scallion, some onion and some garlic. And taste your food as you go along, so you know your salt level, your spice level, if you need to adjust anything. Okay, my oxtail looks nice. Good, guys. This oxtail looks good so far. So now I'm going to add some water, and I'm adding hot water. Hot water from the bowl that I used to marinate the oxtail. So as you can see, the spring onion that was in the marinade is now in there. So I'm going to cover this and let this cook for a couple of hours. I'm going to keep checking on it, and then we will add some ketchup, let it thicken up, create a nice gravy, add some butter beans, add some carrots, and Bob's your uncle. So I've got about a tablespoon of soy sauce here. I forgot to tell you guys to add that in. Sorry, as I said, I did not plan on making a video today for this dinner, so I'm a bit unorganized. About an hour and a half has gone by. You can see oxtails are already soft. So I'm going to add 2 bay leaves, and I'm going to add some ketchup. Got some ketchup, about 2 tablespoons of ketchup in there. Another thing I wanted to add is a little bit more thyme. Got a bit more thyme. So I'm just going to show you guys how soft it already is. Well, you can kind of see it's already breaking away from the bone. This is just an hour. Taste is good. So this is 4 hours later in total. The oxtail is cooked, as you can see, falling off the bone effortlessly. So I'm going to now add some carrots. I've just got 1 large carrot. I had a huge carrot, so I don't need those. Got some carrot, and I'm going to add some butter beans. Leave that to cook for another 15-20 minutes. The oxtail is completely ready, falling off the bone again, as you can see, falling off the bone, super tender. Butter beans are cooked, carrots are cooked.